Hi and welcome to another video here on my channel, Morbid History. I've been away for a while, oh no I haven't, it was last week, but in my real life I've been having a bit of a struggle. Yeah, I decided that today I was gonna try and upload something, or at least record something, and I've had a short little true crime story saved up for a while, and yeah, I decided we should jump straight into that. It was spring in Borgstena village 1907, and a burial was taking place. Standing beside the coffin as it was being lowered was a tall man hiding his face behind a handkerchief, seemingly distraught. But it wasn't tears he was hiding. It was actually a smirk. So let's rewind a few weeks. A rainy day here in Borgstena. A man came to the train station looking for somewhere to live. It was a tall man with a very sharp look to him, a mustache, and I could only assume a fancy hat or something. His name was Carl Johan Rosenqvist. He said that he was a writer and had come to Borgstena to find somewhere relaxing and quiet to hone his craft. With him he had a small lady, greyish hair, looked a few years older. This was his housekeeper, Ida Rehn. They pretty quickly found that place to live, a cottage with 4 rooms. They moved in and everything seemed normal. The villagers were gossiping, of course. It was a tiny place, not a lot of people living there. They thought that these people weren't very social. They wrote it off with him being a writer and maybe needed some space to work. But they usually just saw them together out walking, saying hi, being polite but not sociable. Not really talking to their neighbors. One day he went down to the village doctor and told him that his housekeeper had gotten seriously ill with pneumonia. The doctor came and looked at her and saw that she looked very frail and gave her some antibiotics and medicine, hoping she would fare better. Then again, a few days after that, Carl Johan visited the priest. Carl Johan asked the priest to come visit Ida Rehn, who was on her deathbed by this point. She had not gotten better, the sickness had just progressed during the days. The priest agreed to come the next day to give her communion and read a few verses out of the Bible. When he came there, he saw that she was indeed very frail and seemed moved by the verses and the communion. So he left there with a heavy heart. No one thought that Ida would survive for much longer. And that was also the case. Just a few days after that, Carl Johan went to the priest again to say that Ida had sadly passed away. The priest gave his condolences and said that there are a few ladies living in the city that could help him with wrapping the corpse and cleaning it, but Carl Johan said that he wanted to honor Ida and do all that himself. All he wanted was help to book the funeral. So the priest agreed and booked a day. I don't remember, but it was pretty soon, at least. So nothing out of the ordinary happened until the burial. Oh, except he asked a drunkard out in the city to help him move her body down into the coffin because he couldn't do it himself. He just went straight out and found a man who wasn't entirely sober and asked if he could come and help pick her up and down into the coffin. And the man did that, and he found it very uncomfortable. But beside that, Karl Johan basically did everything himself. Then there was the day of the funeral. There were a lot of people there, mainly to give their support to this obviously very distraught man who seemed to love his housekeeper very much. They could see him just dressed in black, walking around, looking solemn every day. And so no one was very, surprised to see him standing there with a handkerchief over his face the entire funeral. He even stayed after everyone else left and watched as the gravediggers pushed the soil into the hole, covering the coffin. He didn't leave until it had gotten very dark, and that could have been the end of it. But these people, of course, like to gossip. Some people were saying that it was weird that he didn't get a new housekeeper, straight away. But then again, he seemed to really, really love his Ida Ren. Some say that they saw her ghost. They had seen her sitting on the front porch of the house after the funeral. Some even said that they saw her in the window the day of her funeral. So people were talking. And after a few weeks, Karl Johan left and moved somewhere else. Then we fast forward to August of that year, and another villager had died. They were gonna dig the grave next to Ida, but the soil hadn't properly, set. So when they started digging and they had a giant hole, the soil from Ida's grave slipped down into the hole, exposing her coffin. Of course, the men working there had already heard about the ghost stories, and they were intrigued because they saw that there were a few holes into the coffin. So one of them took a stick and poked into the coffin and was very confused because there was nothing in there that would indicate there was a body. And then they started thinking. They had done this many times before, and it should smell a lot, but nothing. So they went to pick up, I don't know what, the police maybe, I don't know, some important people from the village. They picked them up, and they all surrounded the coffin to open it up and get to the point of this mystery. And as you can expect, when they opened it, there was no body. There were just bags of sand, generally placed as if it was Ida Ren's body. So, what was the deal here? The police got noticed, and a manhunt for Karl Johan had started. And maybe even Ida then. Turned out that Karl Johan, he was who he said he was, but Ida Ren was actually his wife, Carolina Petronella. And this was, of course, a life insurance scam. And when they were taken to court, they told everyone how they had almost been unable to laugh themselves through all of this. how he was standing next to the burial as everyone were so sad, and he couldn't hold his laughter, so he had to hide behind a handkerchief. How Ida had indeed been standing in the window watching her own funeral. She had even baked the cookies for the funeral. And they could have gotten away with it if these ghost stories hadn't been gossiped about through the entire neighborhood. Anyway, they got 5 and 4 years. 5 years for Karl Johan and 4 years for Carolina Petronella. Hard labor. Yeah, that was actually just this short story that I've been thinking about. Not all people have to die in true crime cases. Some of them are just plain weird. So that's why I just wanted to record this for you. I hope you enjoyed it. And yeah. I've written down most of my script for the witch trials. That will be up when I can. Hopefully soon. Like I said, I haven't been like 100% mentally lately. But I'm taking steps to get better. So hopefully my brain can function soon again. Yeah. Thanks to my Patreons. I'm gonna list them here. And extra kisses to you, Patreons, and kisses to you all anyway for just watching. Like, comment, subscribe. You're all the best. Mwah. See you soon.